Welcome to Split the Defense.
Split the Defense.
LEAFS Postgame Edition. Split the Defense is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas. Alongside co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans, here's your host, Jordan Webster.
Hey, what up? Welcome to Split the Defense LEAFS post game. LEAFS lose 3-2 to the New York Islanders, jumping right back into action after the bye week, and the boys spent time at the All-Star game this weekend. Before we get into this episode, please take a second, just 1 second, drop a like on this episode, subscribe to our YouTube if you like it, and rate it 5 stars on whatever podcasting platform you may be consuming from if you're enjoying us. Leafs goal scorers tonight, we had Mitch Marner, John Tavares. John Tavares with back-to-back games scoring goals. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Islanders goal scorers is all-star Matthew Barzal. Kyle McLean scores his first NHL goal in Pierre Engvall. Obviously, Pierre Engvall with the game-winning goal. So what's your initial reactions to this game, CP?
Well, you're just reminding me, of course, one guy who's never scored a goal before has to score, and ex-Leaf Pierre Engvall has to score as well. It was an entertaining game. I enjoyed it. It was just one of those, I don't know, there's just a little bit of something lacking, you know? I felt like they... all in all, everyone played pretty decent. No one had a really bad game. Just didn't have enough to beat the Islanders. I mean, they are kind of playing better now that Patrick Waugh is their coach. They got that new coach buff, but I don't know. I felt like this was a scheduled loss for the Leafs coming off a break. You know, off 4 guys in the All-Star weekend. Just also hearing Keefe's comments before the game, he obviously was expecting them to be slow. He basically gave them whatever time they wanted off before this game. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a little bit of something lacking.
Yeah, well, Mo with another giveaway and Sammy doesn't save the day.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to take the bad with the good you get with these players, especially Morgan Riley. He provides so much good, but I feel like I say that sentence so often. Morgan Riley with the giveaway, and another one goes past Sammy. They're down a few key guys. Yeah, they made a strong push at the end of the game. I'll give them that. I understand the circumstances. Everybody was off for a week, maybe a little hung, right? Everybody's out having a couple of pints.
Definitely.
But it just wasn't good enough. It's not good enough, especially from a team that we have questions about, right? You can't just go into these games and nonchalantly play. So that brings me to my first topic tonight. This is a big stretch tonight for the Maple Leafs, with Sheldon Keefe saying it should be treated like playoff hockey. Who do we need to see better play from compared to what we saw tonight?
I mean, if it's supposed to be playoff hockey, then basically everyone. The Stars just weren't I guess they were tired. They weren't. It's not that they didn't show up at all, but just they weren't controlling the play like this team needs to win. That's how they're paid. So, but yeah, I don't know. Just in general, it's just there's just something missing. You know, they're just not quite enough skilled to outskill everyone. Not quite enough toughness to just beat up teams. They just kind of sit in the middle, and it just seems like a very just mid-average team at the moment. I keep saying that this is just kind of the streak that they're on. I don't know, is it 2 months now that it's kind of been this team that's just been kind of sometimes we've been screaming at them, sometimes they've been awesome, but for the most part, they've just been kind of average and middle of the range. So, I don't know. I wish that they didn't have a break, because things were just turning around, and getting the 2 wins over Winnipeg was turning in a good direction after kind of a slump. So I guess we should have expected this, though. This is kind of how they always come in after a break or any change of any sort, kind of.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, it's if they always win leading up to breaks, they're obviously going to lose coming out of them. That's how it seems to be. But obviously we have to give like note to the fact that there's no David Kampf in this lineup. There's no Calle Yarncroke in this lineup. Keefe says David Kampf will not be available this week. An undisclosed injury, mentions that the MRI found something that usually takes a couple of weeks to recover, but it's already kind of been a week with the break. That's a tweet from David Alter. So he's day-to-day currently, but not having those two key guys, that's huge, right? Is that concern you, or is it just next man up? I mean, who's going to fill that next man up position if you feel that way?
I mean, I didn't miss either of them tonight. I know that they are important players, and Calle Yarncroke more so at times. Well, I guess it depends on the situation, but like it wasn't like last time where Camp was benched and there was 2 goals instantly on the penalty kill the game that he's sitting out. Like it wasn't that tonight, and I felt like the fourth line was decent with Holmberg on it. Reeves, did the Reevy things, and I don't think that either of them were the issue. I think this team just always comes back to the star players because they've collected enough money to they need to be game changers, and we see on the weekend at the All-Star game that they are. It's just I don't know what to say other than it's not important enough for them at this time of the season, treating it more of recovery coming off of their showcase for the league. But that's not what I want to see. I love that they did a good job on the weekend and kind of, put on the show. I thought that the All-Star was much better.
They won something.
Yeah, they won something that is unimportant that no one's going to talk about. It would be like them winning if they were in the NBA. They would have won the in-season tournament and still been a first-round knockout. So are they like the LA Lakers? I mean, there is comparables. I mean, more comparables to the Knicks because the Lakers win, but they're like this year's Lakers. They're just going to win the in-season tournament, which is the NHL All-Star Game, and then just be crap for the rest of the time. I was going to say, but are the Lakers even going to make it into the playoffs? I'm not even sure.
That's the thing. Are the Leafs? Are you confident that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to make it into the playoffs? Right now, I'm not 100%. I think, no. But I'm not putting money on it.
I would assume that they're going to. They just are too talented to not. But it's not giving me much hope of what they're going to do in the playoffs. So I don't even care if they make it or if they don't. I'd rather them miss the playoffs than lose in the first round, because at least missing playoffs would mean that we actually get a big shakeup.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so the fourth line tonight, they only played 5 minutes and 37 seconds. This is our natural stat trick segment here we'll go into. It was Bobby McMahon, Pontus Holmberg centering, Ryan Reeves. And they lost their minutes by all of your RAPM stats, including Corsi 4 percentage at 33%. They got their asses kicked. At shots 4 percentage, 33%. They got their asses kicked. At expected goals 4 percentage, 43.7%. You see the trend. It's not good. It's not good. That fourth line wasn't good. It was missing David Kampf. I mean, normally they're around 50, and they obviously were lacking
below
tonight.
50 though.
But they're still not that bad. They're still not that bad. And you also had the third line tonight, who really didn't perform up to par. At the end of the game, they kind of pulled it, but it was still 42.28% expected goals for. Their shots 4 percentage was above the 60%, at 62%, and their Corsi 4 was at 64%. So they won their minutes, right? They carried the puck over the line, they got more shots on goal than the other team, and they generated more expected chances than the other team. But then they didn't generate more chances than the other team. They kind of had a so-so night. The other two lines, on the other hand, they really weren't the problem. We're going to sit here and cuss the Leaf stars out for being the problem here tonight, when in fact the stats are showing me right now that they carried the team. They won or tied their minutes tonight, and I guess basically what you're saying is the Stars have to be better as a whole. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, they need to put points on the board. Matthew Barzal came out tonight, and he had a lot of pep in his step, and he put points up. And Tavares, yes, he scored. He got 2 points, but I don't know. It's a matter of if this is a team that's built around the Stars, then they're the ones that have to win games when it's tough, and they just haven't been. I don't know. It's I expected the comeback. I wasn't sitting there when it was 2-1. Like this is a team you know that you have to watch to the last minute. So like I expected them to at least tie it. Them giving it away so quickly wasn't as expected, or maybe it should have been. But yeah, like I don't know, they're exciting still, and they do have the ability to make big plays. But it's just when it comes down to like the nitty gritty, when you actually need them to pull it out, I don't know. They just seem to. They don't always stumble, I guess. Like I'm always forgetting about the ones that they did come back and win. But yeah, I don't know. You can just schedule so many losses for this team, and this was one. And I guess like you can't blame it all on the Stars, but you have to when it's this team. Like it's not like any other league where we can ignore the salary cap, the triple hard cap, like you like to call it.
Well, the Stars aren't going anywhere, so we have to understand that it's the supporting cast that we're going to have to nitpick because these guys aren't going anywhere. Maybe Mitch Marner, maybe John Tavares probably signs back at a lower contract, so that won't hurt.
Yeah,
that's not for a year or so, but it's a supporting cast, and you wonder. I mean, Matthew Nyes, he's not producing, but if I told you he led the team in expected goals for tonight, would you believe me?
Yeah, I mean, I would not believe you. Like Matthew Nyes to me he's been a good addition to this team, and I guess it's where people's like expectations were of him. Like, were people thinking that he was going to come and be just Zach Hyman in his rookie season?
Well, he looked so good when he got here. When he first got here, he looked so good. But I mean, his play was a level above when he showed up here last year.
I think that it's also like it's his first season and he's in game he's already said it that like his NCAA season would have been over by now, and like he's feeling it. I don't want to put too much on the rookie kid who's coming in and playing on the first line, and he's not the sore spot. Like you said, like it's not like he's not the issue of the supporting cast that we're talking about, right?
Keefe obviously doesn't think so because he's got him playing the most minutes of every forward who's not a core 4 forward, Matthew Nyes.
Well, he plays on the top line. Of course he is.
Well, so that takes me into, what about Tyler Bertuzzi, man? That guy's on the schneid. What are they going to do with Tyler Bertuzzi? You can't put him on the first. You can't put him on the second. You can't put him on the third. Like, I don't know what to do. Do you break up the power play and like mix up 2 power plays and put Bertuzzi net front with the big boys? Because that's where he scored a lot of his goals with Boston. And if that's the kind of player that we're looking for, and those are the kind of points that we're expecting him to get, do you not want to put him in a position to succeed? Like, where do you put him? I can't see where he's going to succeed 5v5. So how are we going to get the most out of this player? How's he going to be effective?
Like I kind of was calling for him to be traded like a few weeks ago, and like the conclusion that I came to is you're only going to trade him if you're like actually selling and like giving up on the season a little bit, because you can't necessarily trade him and expect to get something back that's going to make you better this year, right? So it's interesting if he could be part of like a bigger trade, but like anyone that's going to want Bertuzzi is going to just want to give you like a couple assets and not necessarily improve anything. So if you collect a couple assets for Bertuzzi and turn that into something else, then that's fine. But I'm just not sure. I think you have to ship out someone like, Nick Robertson, like something that another team can actually see a future in. And I don't think like Bertuzzi isn't something that they can unless it's a re-sign, which I'm sure if he's getting traded, he's probably going to want to wait till free agency to re-sign somewhere. So yeah, it's just a really hard spot to find like who to offload. Like if you want to go and spend assets to improve this team, then that's one thing. But I'm just not sure, like, when you get performance, like, the team has to play good. Like, Vancouver didn't get Lindholm because they haven't been playing great and they need a kick in the butt. Like, they got a big trade because, like, they deserve it. They've been playing well enough to deserve a big trade. So,
man, I thought we were going to get, I honestly thought we were going to get Lindholm. I thought that was going to happen. I really did.
As an Avs fan, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it caught everyone off guard.
It was a big haul. Big haul.
Yeah.
So I want to switch over to our favorite player, Simon Benoit. Okay, so Simon Benoit, he led the defense core tonight in Corsi 4, which means carrying the puck out of your zone or puck getting out of your zone comparatively to the puck going into the other person's zone. Or they're bringing it into your zone. You know what I mean? Taking it out versus them bringing it in. So his percentage led the defenseman, but he was the lowest defenseman with time on ice tonight. His expected goals was actually the only behind Mark Giordano, who was right behind him in time on ice tonight. Do you think that either of these guys should be shifted around in their positions to get more out of them because things aren't working? TJ Brodie led besides Morgan Riley, TJ Brodie led all the other defenders in ice time at 20 minutes tonight. 20 minutes for TJ Brodie.
Yeah. I mean, a shakeup if you're adding someone. I'm not sure what type of a shakeup we can do if it's these guys on the team. Because, if you're taking Brodie off, I don't know, I guess, there's either McCabe's going up there, I guess, or Liljegren, but I don't think that changes a whole lot. I think it's a matter of, this is the defense. And
do we try Benoit with Riley, maybe? Put him up there and drop...
He's not the guy that's playing as offside, though. McCabe is. Benoit's not as good at that, and they've been kind of training McCabe to do that, so I don't think so. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I'd really like to see more ice time for Benoit. I'd like to see him get a bigger spot. He looks like he can play. He doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes, and I love his style of game. So I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I agree.
So switching over, John Tavares with goals in back-to-back games after going pointless for 9 games. Do you think that pointless streak was a blip, or do you think it's just the start of what's to come?
I think it's a blip as in what all goal scorers and players in the NHL go through is just slumps and where things just aren't going your way. The nice thing is that he was still playing well and getting chances. So we were saying when he was on the slump that he's due. He's just it's kind of like Bertuzzi, but just in the more reliable way because it's John Tavares who's just scheduled in so many good seasons after another. So you can just rely that he's going to return to what he was. And we've got, I've repeated on this show before, he's a player that should last in time based on the way he plays, how he plays in front mostly. If this was a guy that relied on his speed his whole career, then I would have been a little bit more worried as his foot speed drops off. I think it's hard to argue that it's not. So I think that he was due. It was gonna come. I think that he could go now on a 10-game point streak, and I wouldn't be shocked. I think that this was just one of those. I'm sure that he's had multiple of them. So I think that he's back in
one of his life.
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's also the oldest he's ever been. So I would expect.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I would expect the slumps will be longer and more drawn out. But
so are we all. So is everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, I think all of our slumps will be more drawn out as we get older.
Wait, yeah, no, that's fair. So I want to go back to Benoit real quick. I forgot to touch on this. Benoit's hit tonight leads to a fight with Bo Horvat. The fans absolutely love it. We love this man. The instigator, actually not instigator, puts the Isles down a man and evens the game to 4v4. Marner capitalizes on that.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to ask is giving Horvat an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty instead of an instigator. Is that just the refs deciding that the 10-minute misconduct that comes with an instigator is too much? This is from David Alter's tweet on, obviously on X earlier. He says, "I'm not sure if that's in the spirit of the game." So the question again is, do you think that the refs deciding the 10-minute misconduct that comes with an instigator is too much? Do you think that that's okay for them to decide in that moment and just give him the unsportsmanlike? Or isn't that kind of the point of it? Because I'm really sick and tired of watching the guys drop the gloves over a fight. If you want to fight, fight, okay? Have a good reason to do it. I also want to see hits. I don't want to see guys stray away from hits because they think they're going to have to fight. And I'd like to see more big hits in the league. So, can you answer me that question there, CP?
I think that I like the the different values on the instigator. I know that like now we're just making more judgment calls, but I think that there kind of should be different values for it. You can still call it the same thing, but like if Mitch Marner goes and hits someone and then is skating away from the guy that's trying to fight him, and the guy catches him and then, makes him fight, that's a 10-minute, If the other guy gets in and turns around and like doesn't have a choice, but has to fight whoever's coming at him but doesn't choose the runaway version, like that would be like an extra 2. But if it's like 2 guys that like just go and drop the gloves right after a hit, like I'm kind of fine with it. So I know that you are more against the instigator rule, and a lot of people are. You're probably on the majority, I think. But I don't like it just always being a 10-minute. But I do like it to be allowed to be. So I don't know. More judgment calls for the refs. They're just going to be even brutaler than they have been. So
I think if the whole point of the instigator penalty is to give the guy a 10-minute misconduct for, hey, you idiot, you can't start fights over stupid stuff, then they should be giving the penalty to the idiot who started a fight over stupid stuff. The one that they created specifically for that situation, not just another one. No, not here. It fits the description, okay? The guy wasn't hurt. It's not a massive play. It's not a huge thing. I get the guy. I get it's Simo Benoit, but, what if it is Mitch Marner? And, so now Mitch Marner isn't ever going to throw a hit like that. What if he's got it in him? What if somebody like that has it in them? I'm not even talking about a Toronto Maple Leaf. I'm talking about any NHL player that has it in them that is a little, I don't want to use the word scared, but they're anxious to throw a hit, a big hit, an open ice hit, an exciting one that will make the game more fun and exciting because they don't want to have to answer the bell.
Yeah, I know. That's 100% the one argument that I agree with the instigator penalty, but I just don't agree that I never want there to be a fight after a hit. Because tonight, that was a greasy hit. I know it's kind of he didn't actually even end up connecting because Barzal is actually going down already. If he had connected, that might have been a suspension on Benoit because Barzal is in a really vulnerable position going down towards the boards, and I think it all just happened all at once, so you can't blame him. But I thought that Horvat should have stepped up and fought him. So that's the scenario where I like it in the game still. But it's the scenario where someone goes and lights up whoever, and it's a clean hit, and then there's a fight after. That's the ones that I want to rule out. So I know you say that I can't be nitpicky about it, and you have to pick a side, but I just can't. I enjoy a fight after a big hit if it's dirty, but I love more hits. If it's dirty,
yeah, but the refs didn't call any penalties for the hit.
They should have.
It was fine.
Well, it's because he missed them.
So then why did he come and have to fight him?
Because it could have been awful, and that was Barzal.
Because it could have been, yeah.
If someone ran at Marner and just missed his head.
It could have been awful if somebody swings their stick and it misses just narrowly by somebody's head. So we're gonna go and drop the gloves and punch the other guy's head in now because you just narrowly missed with your stick. Oh my God.
If he meant to swing your stick at his head and he just missed, yeah, that guy should go fight him.
Benoit didn't go in there with the intention to hurt the guy. He didn't go in there with the intention to hit him in the head. He went in there with the intention to finish his check. He went in there to try and make a clean check, and that didn't happen. And if Benoit wanted to go in there and completely be dirty, he could have. He could have followed through. He didn't just completely miss him. He wasn't just dodged.
Oh, he did.
Benoit led up from the fact of a clean hit style to the dirty hit that you're calling it, of what it could have been, and it never happened because he never followed through with it. So because that never happened, there was never a penalty. There never should have been a fight immediately after. If those two guys want to fight, if they're going to lip and they want to fight after in the play, whatever, let the play go on. The hit happens, let the play go on. It's to me, I enjoy it because it's kind of like a mini 3 or 4 second power play for the other team where somebody's down on their butt because they can't catch their breath from just getting knocked down. And I like that part. I don't want to have to see, my guy got knocked down. Oh, well, we're going to be down a man for a couple seconds. This puts us at a disadvantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab you in confetti gloves. And I'm just going to break the play up right now, and I'm going to end it all. I think that's stupid. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't like the skate around and dance thing. You know, like I just find that like if you're gonna do it, like let's get it over with. And if there was an instigator, they would just get it over with. But like I just think that like just for them all to just be 10 minutes is a bit far. But also if it's the thing is I like the end product you talk about. You know, I just hate the process of getting there. That's all.
No foreplay. No foreplay.
Yeah. Get
long
into
time. Long time. Anyways, so the last thing that I have here before we'll go to what you have lined up for us is the refs fist bump wah, or just a ref.
Oh, I saw
Bumps
that.
Wah at the beginning of the game. Now, Patrick Wah, a longtime Montreal Canadian, Colorado Avalanche, Stanley Cup winning goaltender, is now the coach of the New York Islanders, right? And he is playing. They're playing against the Leafs tonight. In this game, he's fist bumping refs. How do you feel about that? Is that problematic or just whatever?
Oh, that's problematic. I instantly, when I saw that, I was like, oh, we're losing. Nice. That's great.
Come on, you tell me you're someone who works around the NHL and you get a chance, a guy like Patrick Waugh comes onto the ice that you happen to be working that game that night. I
You're
want to go over and
working.
just say hi.
What
You're
about everybody
working.
else that's a legend
You're working.
all the time? Like,
Go
oh,
say
so
hi
you're
to
just
the
going to...
guy. They get to
I
say
guess-
they say stuff to the players before the game. They're like, hey Connor, welcome to the league. That was a
Sidney
big moment that got
Crosby.
shared around. Like, come on, they're gonna be like, hey,
And that was a bad moment. Get out of the game, refs. Like this isn't the league's not about the referees. They're supposed to be almost invisible. And so any moment they try and put themselves in, they're not important. So like
No,
I hated
agree.
that talking.
I agree
when
they
dropped the
aren't,
puck.
but I mean they're around the game. These are I'd want to say hi to
Oh
Wah.
my
I'd want to say hi to Wah. I wouldn't
Sure
do
you
anything
would.
special for him within my job, but between the whistle before the first puck drop, I'd go over there and be like, "Hey, man."
Ted, you can't argue that it's an awful look. It's just brutal.
It's totally unprofessional.
I get that
Yeah.
it's a bad look, but oh my god, would I do it? You know,
If I
would.
was his boss
course you
and I had a company and he is ruining the product because he wants to go and say hi, like get an autograph at that point, you know, like take your referee's jersey off and have him sign it. Cause like I couldn't believe it. I was like, Keith's instantly losing the goal or the coaching battle now. He loses every other one. And that was an all timer. I bet you he gets a talking to. Like,
There's
dude.
got to be some. There will be probably for sure some kind of talking to, but I know there's no intention there. I guarantee he
No.
wasn't making calls for Wah in the game.
No, I do agree. It was funny too. Like you can see it. Like Watt is the one who like initiates the fist bump, right? He puts his arm through the players, and I could see a moment in the ref.
Do the
where
ref's
it's
like,
just
do I do it?
do I leave a Hall of Famer hanging here? Like, there's cameras on me, man. But had to do it.
Yeah, that's an angle. Okay, here's a great one. Here's something for you boys on Patrick Waugh on Bo Horvat stepping up to fight Simon Benoit.
Yeah.
In life, you have a chance. You could be an eagle or a duck. He was an eagle there.
No, that's not his quote.
Oh boy.
Are you serious? That's his quote?
What?
From Luke
Oh, I
Fox,
love that guy, though. That's
Jukebox.
funny.
No messing around. Patrick Waugh and Bo Horvat stepping up to fight Simon Benoit. In life, you have a chance. You could be an eagle or a duck. He was an eagle there. I am
Oh my God.
not four-letter word.
I'm going to find that clip right now. I need to hear that. I need to hear
Yeah,
him saying
That
that.
is
I need
so
that audio.
good. Oh, that's hilarious. A duck
Oh.
is a duck is a duck, but he's an eagle. So good. I mean,
Although
I
he should
agree.
be more like a duck because of his long neck.
Horvat's got a long neck.
No, I'm thinking
Doesn't the
Pierre
water
Engvall.
roll off the back of a duck or something?
Yeah.
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 I said, you know who should be a duck because of his long neck is
Oh,
Pierre
yeah.
Engvall. So he was asked tonight, did you have money on the board to score a goal? Which obviously, you know, against a team like that, a team that trades you away, a team that I think Pierre Engvall expected to stay longer with. His reaction was pause, big smile. Yeah.
I was gonna say he's probably pretty good friends still with Lilligren, and I know that Sandin was one of his good friends, but he's gone. But yeah, I mean the Swedes on our team always stuck together, so I'm sure there's a few guys that he probably had a little bit of action with.
Yeah, no doubt. So what else you got here for us, CP?
I don't think I have anything else. No.
Well, that's awesome. So, good show, bad game. Leafs lose 3-2 to the New York Islanders.
Yeah.
Again, we had a great All-Star weekend. We didn't get much to recap on that, but Team Austin Matthews did win that to the Leafs, did win something. And we had Marner, Matthews, Nylander, and Riley on that team.
Sure.
They
Much
finally won something.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a
McKinnon
tough
team
weekend for
sucked.
team
Sure.
They blew a massive lead at
Did
the
they
end of the
ever?
game.
That was the Leafs of the normal hockey. It's good to know the Avalanche suck out somewhere, and it's the All-Star game.
I'll take that because
Yeah, I'm sure
season
you
and
will.
playoffs we're okay.
Yeah. I'll trade.
And 100% story of the weekend was whiny baby Nikita Kucherov.
Oh
who
yeah.
Took 46 seconds to complete an event everybody else did
The
like
boos.
20 something.
Just raining
booed,
down.
Not good. Yeah, booed
Yeah.
every time after it. Of course, he's the first player to score a goal in the Team Hughes, Team Matthews first game.
Yeah.
How do you like me now?
How do you like
He had
it,
something to
man?
prove.
Love that.
I
So
liked
anyways-
also that he didn't
go ahead.
take it too personally. Like he at first though I hated that he gave up. Like I know it's his kind of his style and at the beginning, but like at least try, man. Like don't show up. Like Crosby's making the passes. He should have stepped up and
Hey,
taken
Dangle
a spot.
put it best, man. Like, I get it. You don't want to be there. Like, I get it. But, like, you're on a $76 million contract. Show a little effort. Like, $76 million to play in this league. Like,
But,
show
like,
a little effort
yeah.
to promote it. That's all.
I guess, but like I would just say I would be okay if you don't want to promote it. That's fine with me. Just don't show up. Like just
Yeah, and they should be asked. Like, Connor McDavid picked these 12 guys who were supposed to be, like, the dopest guys and super big competitors and really engaged, but they weren't. Like, not all of them were. I certainly, you could see, like, JT Miller wanted to win, but, like, he could tell he wasn't going to have a chance, and he wasn't giving... I mean, if things would have went better for him, maybe he would have had a better showing, but his body language was similar. Nikita Kucherov, after things went to crap for him, he did not want to be there. Like,
no.
if things would have went well for him, I solely rest my opinion on the fact that Nikita Kucherov would have been better that whole weekend had things have went his way. But as soon as things started going downhill, that man, he just crumbles. Like, he folds. He'll throw his gloves at you if you're a trainer on the bench. He is
sure.
absolutely unhinged.
He's a bad loser for sure.
Bad
He's also
loser.
actually a bad winner too. But he
Number one bullshit.
yeah, he's a funny winner. Yeah, I didn't like
Classy.
that, but I thought in general though the rest of them kind of showed up as much as kind of hockey players do. And you could tell McDavid wanted to like speak to the crowd well, and Matthews was hanging out and doing this thing. So I actually thought that compared to previous years, it was a big step up. We're still nowhere near the NBA level, but
No, you know what? The All-Star game itself was kind of poopy, as it always is. It's not the most fun thing in the whole entire world.
no.
It's an all-right tournament, but it's still not the most fun. I will know about the All-Star games themselves. Matthew said Willie was talking about back-checking on the bench, and he's probably like, didn't expect that. Willie, we're gonna win this, guys. And Willie's gonna back check. Everybody buy in. We're going. We're gonna take this thing home now. Like, I don't know. So that was fun. But the All-Star skills competition was better. They still could make it better if they took more the NBA route, where they put the guys with literally the hardest recorded shots. They have this stuff available for me to look up on NHL Edge right now. Anybody could look that up. The fastest skater. Nate McKinnon not being in the fastest skater. What a farce. But if they had these guys in the actual events that they're going to excel at, that would sell it even more. I'm not going to lie. I watched the whole skills competition, and I floated around the NHL All-Star game for the whole time it was on. I was doing homework and whatever else, but I was still within the vicinity of it, and it was good. I was going back to watch every now and again. It was catching my attention. And in years past, I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't even look for it. I wouldn't even be on my TV. I'd be doing something else. So that says something about this year and how the NHL is getting better. And I just hope they take that next step and get even better.
Yeah. My last thing on the All-Star is it was nice seeing a C on Matthews' All-Star jersey. It was kind of I noticed it right away. As soon as I saw it, I was just like, that's not normal, and I like that. And
Like
he
that look,
acted.
eh?
He acted more like a captain. Like I saw him on the bench, as soon as they got the lead, about yelling at the guys to now we're shutting it down. And I was just, maybe we do need to give this guy a C. As soon as you give it to him, he takes it to heart. So
I am so on board with giving Matthews the captaincy. We just have to wait till JT's contract comes up and they can give him a choice. You either go play for somebody else
this summer,
or you pass over the C.
This summer, I
Pass
think it
over
might
the
happen.
Yeah, possibly. Anyway, so we're looking ahead now. Leafs play Dallas at home on Wednesday at 7 p.m. And we will be back, as always, post-game here to chat with you. Leave a comment in the comment box there. We love reading comments here on the show, so please leave some conversation for us to talk about. For now, though, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. Hit that like button. Subscribe on YouTube. Rate us 5 stars anywhere else. And if you really like us, hey, leave us a review if you can, because then other people will know that we're kind of cool too. We don't have a whole lot of viewers if you can't tell. And you guys are awesome for showing up. So you can find us on X at STDP Hockey and search for Split the Defense on all other socials. And we will keep you up to date with where we will be next. We're all making all sorts of content, so hang out with us. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Split the Defense,
Split the defense.
Leafs Postgame Edition. Hosted by Jordan Webster, Craig Pearce, and producer Ted Evans. Split the Defense is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.